How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper. My goal in this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading when the price is going up or down. So excuse me for a second. Gotta fix something so I can see the chat, apparently. So, over on the total for the daily, we do have a double top possibility. So we do have a rise, a drop, a rise, a drop, and then we could drop lower back into that golden pocket area of our Fibonacci retracement zone. So you can calculate that by measuring your two rises or your 2 points. Then you can go from where your head is to your neckline right here. Apply this to your neckline down, and that would put you near the bottom of that golden pocket area. We would want to bounce and hold above that area. Ideally, we would invalidate this pattern. Otherwise, we could see some further losses here. Stochastic does want to round away. We do have that orange above blue, so that gives us that bearish cross here on our market cipher B. Remember, we're using market cipher B edits and market cipher A free version 1.1. VWAP is pulling into the bearish territory. That is that yellow wave. As that VWAP pulls back, that momentum will continue to weaken our blue wave, and as that momentum weakens, our money flow will go from being red to green to red, sorry. We are trying to reject that neutral, so if that VWAP and momentum continue lower, that money flow will continue to push down. Over on the 4 hour here, we did try to run up after breaking that 674, then we pushed above it. We got rejected and we broke it. We also broke our 300 EMA. So hopefully you're watching for that. We tell you all the time that that 300 EMA is a pretty critical area to hold. Overall, we are trying to round away. Coming down to the top of our previous channel, this is the first time we do have a candle body in this range from where we broke up back here and back here. So this is the first time we are retesting this range. If we can bounce up and continue from here, we would need to break our EMA and our 674 in order to gain bullish momentum. If we could do that, we could see another run up. However, if we do break down and push lower, then we could see lower price action if we're not careful. Our VWAP is in the bearish territory. Money flow does want to round, so watch that VWAP close. If it continues to break down, we will see that momentum remain bearish, and that money flow will continue to weaken. Over on the 2 hour here, Stochastic and RSI both want to fall. They're more in the bearish territory, so I would exercise caution as they do want to break away. Our momentum is in the bearish territory as well. VWAP is breaking down, so I would watch. If that VWAP cannot get a higher high with higher lows, creating a bullish trend, it's likely we will pull back. And if we do pull back, we will see momentum remain bearish. Money flow will break bearish as well, and that will weaken those higher time frames. Over on the 1 hour here, we are in a bit of a descending channel. It's not a very straight descending channel. So remember, when they don't connect very good, they don't end up breaking you down as often. Or breaking you up as often, sorry. A descending channel sounds like it wants to push you down, but it'll push you up. This is more of a bearish consolidation, like downwards channel, that will continue to push you down if you do not gain support and see your indicators start to reverse. VWAP is starting to round away. Money flow wants to pull back. Momentum does want to push down, and that Stochastic and RSI are pushing down as well. If that VWAP does reject this neutral and we stay in the bearish territory here, the 1 and 2 hour will start to break down, and that will weaken the 4 hour and the daily. Over on Bitcoin dominance for the daily, we are running up as Bitcoin lost less than the altcoins, but that's not really a good reason to see dominance go up. Stochastic is pretty maxed out, RSI is running up, momentum's gaining strength, VWAP is pushing up, and our money flow is going further. So right now, dominance does look like we could see a tear, possibly to our 55-56% range, but we also could see a correction if the altcoins start to run up. We did get the Ethereum ETF approval, and that likely would give us some bullish news for altcoins in the future. Remember, the Bitcoin ETF approval didn't make Bitcoin run up right away. It took a couple months. So now people could be researching their altcoins and deciding what to get in or get invested into. Now over on Bitcoin for the daily, this is Bitcoin futures. We did pull down toward the top of our channel, and we do have an indecision candle. So if we can bounce from here with a strong green candle, we do have that potential to still push up like we said. this is typically where you would want to trade this pattern, because you saw your run up, you pulled back, you made your retest. After that retest, if you are followed with bullish confirmation, meaning something that tells you we will go forward, then you jump in and you can gain the profits. RSI and stochastic wanted to pull back, VWAP's rounding away, money flow is rejecting, so I would exercise caution, but watch for the next candle. If it's green, we could run up. Over on the 4-hour, we do have this long lower shadow candle. This long lower shadow candle could end up bringing us down if we're not careful, because it's both red and it does have a manipulation X. So we do need a strong green candle that would be more of a bullish engulfing candle to push us above to the top of this previous red candle. Our momentum does want to pull back, so that would be a break of 72K. Our momentum is pulling back, stochastic's pulling back, RSI is weakening, VWAP is having lower lows. We did make a higher high, but with these lower lows, we are creating more of a bearish trend, and that can continue to weaken the daily if we're not careful. Over on the 2-hour, we are starting to round away, but overall, we do want to make a little bit of a bounce. We have a green indecision candle here. This is another long lower shadow, so if we can get a stronger body and a stronger push forward, then we may see some sort of rounding bottom form here. If we do that, then that would be kind of that bullish confirmation, but you want to wait for a couple candles ideally. Just don't get too greedy. Don't be like, oh, I missed out on a 1K jump, because we also have a 5K dump we could do. RSI wants to pull back, stochastic wants to pull back, VWAP is in the bearish territory, momentum's pushing down, and the money flow does want to break down, so I would exercise caution. Over on the 1-hour, we are making a bounce off that 300 EMA, so this is very positive. If we can continue to push up through our EMA bands here, we may start to strengthen those higher time frames. RSI does want to push up, VWAP wants to break up, momentum is gaining strength, and the money flow is trying to break up as well. So over on Bitcoin, if we can see that bounce on Bitcoin futures, then likely Bitcoin would push up with it. Remember, futures does lead Bitcoin. Futures did go down more than Bitcoin, but we made that solid retest in my opinion. Stochastic does want to pull back, momentum is rounding away, RSI is pulling back, VWAP does want to break that neutral, so I would watch. If that VWAP continues to push down, momentum will continue to weaken and our money flow could break down. Remember that money flow does show where the price action is going. Over on the 4-hour, we do have a consolidation after a push down, so I would exercise caution. Remember, that does create a bear flag. It's a very narrow channel, but does have a very big breakdown. This big breakdown could push us down below that 67K, right around 66.8, right near that 300 EMA. So I would still exercise caution here. We need to see futures run up if we're going to break away and invalidate this. RSI is pulling back, money flow does want to round as that VWAP is favoring bearish and the momentum is breaking down, so overall I would exercise caution here. We do have this bear flag, the 2-hour we do want to push down. We did get 3 touches to the top, we kind of have 2 touches to the bottom. We have this initial one here, then this candle wick here, so there is a chance if we do not break down after the next touch that we push up and try to run up. That would be what you want to look for. Remember, usually that third touch is where you break, and if you get more than that, you may not break. Momentum does want to push up. We do have a red dot here, so I would exercise caution because that does signal our VWAP does want to pull back, and if that VWAP does pull back, we will have a lower high with lower lows, creating a bearish trend that could weaken momentum and make that money flow break as well. Over on the 1-hour, we keep riding on this 300 EMA. We just don't want to break it. This is positive, but again, every time you hit a support or resistance area, you do make it weaker, so there is a chance we could end up breaking down, unless we do what's called an inverted Bart Simpson, where you just zigzag around and then broke up. Bart Simpson's head looks more like this, where you zigzag around, then dump down, but usually these zigzags are very close together. Stochastic does want to pull back, RSI is pulling back, VWAP does want to push down, momentum is rounding away, and the money flow wants to break down with that VWAP. But if that VWAP can get higher low, then get higher highs from here, we do still have a chance to push up. Just keep a close eye on this 300 EMA. If we end up breaking away from this channel and we break, say, the 68.9 area, then we could see continued losses then. So over on graph for the daily, we are starting to round away. We do have a little weak of a bearish candle here. It's not a very quick drop. compared to yesterday, so this could be positive if we can get some bullish momentum here. VWAP wants to pull back. We do have a lower high with consistent lows, bringing momentum lower and weakening money flow. RSI and stochastic are both pushing down as well. So over on the daily, we don't look very positive. Oops, sorry about that. Over on the 4 hour here, we are starting to round away, so I would exercise caution. We're kind of stair-stepping our way down. RSI does want to bounce up, stochastic is trying to make a move forward, VWAP does want to push up, and our momentum is trying to gain strength. We have a double green dot. That double green dot could try to push up if that VWAP can sustain in the bullish territory. Over on the 2 hour, we are starting to make a rounding bottom here, so watch if we can continue to push up. If we can continue to push up, we could gain some strength here. Excuse me real quick. So our stochastic is running up. We do have our blue above orange. RSI is gaining strength. VWAP is pushing up. Momentum is gaining strength. And the money flow does want to run up too. So we do have a little bit of bullish indicators here, or things trying to go bullish, so I would watch. RSI is trying to run up here on the 1 hour. Momentum is gaining strength and the money flow is flat. If that VWAP can stay in this bullish territory, we may be able to run forward and then retest our EMA bands. If we can break that 300, we could make that push toward 31,954. Over on Ankr for the daily, we are overall rounding away. We did push near that value area low on that fixed range volume profile, so we do want to hold this area. But again, if we do see continued red candles, we could end up breaking down. So we are going to delete this bit of this channel inside of the lower time frame. We did see that break us down. So now we do have this bear flag that did technically break down as well. We will delete this as well. RSI and stochastic are dropping. VWAP is bearish. Momentum's rounding. Money flow is weakening. So the daily doesn't look very positive. Sorry about that. My throat's getting real scratchy talking so much, still being sick. RSI is pulling back. Our VWAP is in the bearish territory. Momentum is pushing down, and the money flow does want to break. If that VWAP continues with the lower lows, we could end up rejecting, pushing lower, seeing momentum drop, and money flow would weaken. So ideally, that VWAP does need to make a higher high here. If we can make a higher high with higher lows, then we could run forward. However, if this VWAP rejects, we will have a bearish trend still. Over on the 2 hour, we are trying to make that rounding bottom, but watch very close. RSI wants to push up, VWAP's trying to gain strength, momentum wants to push forward, and the money flow is trying to push up as well. Over on this 1 hour, stochastic is trying to run up, RSI is trying to gain some strength. So if our stochastic can continue to be in this overbought area, RSI will continue forward as well. Momentum does want to run up. VWAP is trying to gain strength. We do have higher lows. If we can break for higher highs and maintain bullish favor, then momentum will continue to gain strength and money flow could break through and push up. Over on XRP for the daily, we do want to push down. We did break away from our flag pattern, so I would exercise caution. We could see another play out. That's why we didn't delete it yet, because we weren't very confirmed whether we're in it or out. Now we are out, so this could be a confirmation of a bearish breakdown. So I would watch for the 38 cent area if we don't hold that 45-44 area. RSI wants to pull back, stochastic's dropping down, VWAP is in the bearish territory, momentum is dropping down, so overall the bears do have some strength here. If the lower time frames continue to weaken, we could end up continuing to break down. We do have a bit of consolidation going on after this breakdown. Remember, that does create a bear flag, so a bear flag after our bear flag would play out just like the first one. RSI wants to pull back, stochastic is dropping, momentum is falling, VWAP is favoring bearish. So I would watch. If that VWAP does not break for a bullish trend, our momentum will continue lower and we will continue to break down here. Over on the 2 hour, we have that same consolidation. RSI and stochastic do want to run up, but they're struggling. VWAP is just riding on that neutral. Momentum wants to push forward. We do have a bullish divergence here with slightly higher lows as price makes consistent lows. So that's how you create a bit of a pinch point that you do typically blast off from. I would just exercise caution because you can see these with other bearish indicators and they will end up breaking down instead of playing up. So I would just watch the lower time frame like the 1 hour here. Stochastic does want to run up on the 1 hour. RSI is trying to push forward, but it's not gaining much strength. Watch very close. Our VWAP does technically have higher highs with higher lows here, so we have a slight bullish trend, but it's not the strongest. I would exercise caution. Momentum will continue forward if that VWAP can sustain, and that will give our money flow strength. However, if that VWAP does break down and we get lower lows, then watch for continued bearish momentum and watch for that push down we mentioned. Over on ALGO for the daily, we did get our break down to our 1618, just like we've been warning. So now we could end up meeting some support here. We did fill that candle wick. RSI is pulling back, stochastic is dropping. VWAP is favoring bearish with consistent lows and lower highs. Momentum is dropping down and our money flow is weakening. So overall, I would exercise caution here. Over on the 4 hour, we are trying to get a bounce off that 1618. So watch if we can continue with bullish candles. Otherwise, we could break it and push down to our 1412. RSI is pulling back. Momentum's pushing down. VWAP is in the bearish territory, but we're trying to break up. So watch if we can break up and hold. If we can, then momentum will continue further. Money flow will gain strength, and we could push up. Over on the 2 hour, we do have a big consolidation after a breakdown. So we do have this break, break, consolidate, exercise caution, because history does tend to repeat. RSI does want to pull back, stochastic does want to push up, momentum does want to gain strength, but if that VWAP breaks down, momentum will reject, and money flow would remain bearish, causing the higher time frames to reject as well. Finally, on the 1 hour, stochastic does want to run up, RSI is trying to push forward, VWAP is trying to gain strength, momentum wants to gain strength, and the money flow is trying to push up. So if that VWAP can stay above in this bullish territory, we could see a bounce here. However, if that VWAP does break down again, we could see the bears regain control and continue to break us down after getting a slight retracement up. Thank you.